Heaven's eyes are watching what they once ignored in you. You're not hiding anymore. The ones who laughed are now silent. Every wound they overlooked now glows. They see you now, when you've stopped needing their sight. They wanted your silence. Now they're stunned by your rising. The one who dismissed you is haunted by your light. You were underestimated. That was your protection. God lifted the veil. Now they tremble at your truth. Their eyes weren't blind, just not ready for the divine in you. You were invisible until heaven whispered, now. You're no longer hidden, and they don't know how to handle it. They watched you suffer. Now they'll watch you rise. The spotlight found you because destiny refused to lose you. The ones who left are now watching what they prayed you'd never become. They mocked your journey. Now they're studying your grace. You didn't chase fame. Truth drew eyes to you. Eyes that once rolled now stare in awe. They didn't see your pain, but they'll witness your promise. You became what they couldn't control. Now they watch what they lost. Your name is being spoken in rooms you've never entered. They see glory where they once saw weakness. Your glow is not vanity. It's prophecy fulfilled. They tried to silence your soul. Now it echoes through their bones. Your scars turned into signs, and now everyone's looking. The ones who walked away now wish they had stayed. You are being studied by those who once ignored your story. Every eye that overlooked you is now forced to bow. Heaven made you undeniable. They thought you broke, but you were becoming. They followed gossip. Now they follow your light. Big eyes watch what they never believed could rise from you. They can't explain your glow. That's why they stare. Their jealousy is loud, but your calling is louder. You became a mystery they can't stop watching. The ones who laughed now wait for your next move. You were never ordinary. Their blindness was. Their eyes are full of regret. Yours, of sacred clarity. They search your page for pieces of the person they once knew. You disappeared to grow. Now they can't look away. They judged your seed. Now they marvel at your bloom. You glowed in secret. Now heaven makes it public. Their silence is louder than their shame. Your presence stings those who thought you'd stay broken. You were mocked in darkness. Now you shine where they can't reach. They peer through envy, but you walk through favor. You were hidden for such a time as this. They dismissed your light, but the world won't. The ones who betrayed you now pretend to admire you. Their eyes watch, but their spirit trembles. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more. You were never the background. God was just building your stage. They stare because they feel what they missed. They're watching your healing like it's their punishment. You grew in silence. They gasp in shock. You carry what they denied, divine proof. Your name is being whispered in reverence and regret. You became the prophecy they never saw coming. They're looking, but they can't touch this version of you. What they once overlooked now haunts them. You don't need to speak. Your presence is loud. They stare because their spirit remembers who you were. You were buried alive. Now you bloom unbothered. They're watching your light like it's their last chance. Your shine shatters their illusions. They pretend it's curiosity, but it's conviction. They scroll through your story to find their guilt. God gave them front row seats to what they rejected. You are the sermon they didn't want to hear. They didn't believe, but now they follow. They stare not because you changed, but because they didn't. What they thought would break, you built you. Their eyes are heavy with shame. Yours are light with peace. They follow you quietly, but their spirit screams. You made it without them. That's the part they can't bear. You are living evidence that silence births glory. They're fascinated by your peace. They stare because you remind them of what they lost. You hold what they could never earn, favor. God's favor on your life now blinds those who doubt it. You don't glow for applause. You glow because God said so. They saw a threat. Heaven saw a vessel. You outgrew their version of you. They're obsessed with what they tried to destroy. You're being watched because your spirit is louder than your presence. They tried to copy what they never understood. You don't speak often. That's why they're listening. They stare because your peace exposes their chaos. They pretend not to see you, but they always do. You became the vision they couldn't contain. Their silence is no longer power, it's panic. Your light entered rooms their pride could not. You're not viral. You're vital. Heaven made sure they could not unsee you. They stare because their soul knows it missed something sacred. You are now the page they reread at night. Their attention isn't admiration, it's confusion. God gave them a glimpse of what they once wasted. You didn't need revenge. Your presence became it. You became what they never had the courage to be. Your light makes their lies irrelevant. You were once mocked for loving deeply. Now they wish they could reach you. They whisper doubt. Now they whisper envy. You were never loud, but your life now shouts. Their eyes are wide, but their souls are empty. You didn't demand attention. Your healing attracted it. They act shocked, like your growth wasn't inevitable. God made your name echo in their silence. Their obsession is just delayed recognition. They're watching your life and questioning theirs. You don't owe them closure. Your elevation is enough. They didn't help you climb, but they'll watch you fly. You were quiet. Now they quote you. Your life became their lesson. They stare because you left and never looked back. They spy on your glow while hiding in shadows. You don't need to explain. You just need to shine. They watch, hoping to see a fall. Instead, they see flight. You've become the proof they swore didn't exist. The ones who watched you break are now witnessing your rebirth. You stopped seeking them. Now they search for you. Their silence wasn't ignorance. It was arrogance. Your name now carries silence, wonder, and thunder. You were the blueprint they disrespected. Their pride cost them your presence. You were too deep for their shallow gaze. They stare, but your soul remains hidden to the unworthy. The eyes of the world now see what heaven saw first. They remember you small. That memory now hurts. You went from ghosted to glorified. They watch with regret. You walk with grace. You're not a trend. You're a truth. Your glow is what they pray for in secret. You healed in public silence. Now they scream in private guilt. Their eyes now hold the apology they never said. You outlived their expectations. You are no longer the secret they are. God lit your name in places they'll never be invited to. You never had to beg for what your soul would magnetize. Their attention doesn't empower you, it confirms you. You're not on their radar, you're above it. They wish they had believed when it cost nothing. The same eyes that mocked now mimic. You were never meant to be understood, only remembered. They watched you suffer. Now they can't stop watching you shine. They see you now, but only after God crowned your scars. The spotlight isn't fame. It's divine confirmation. You're being seen because heaven said, enough hiding. The eyes that once rolled now stare in reverence. You didn't change for them. You rose despite them. You walked through fire unnoticed. Now your glow blinds them. They used to mock your silence. Now they study your peace. You are no longer hidden. You are being announced. Their eyes are wide because your soul is loud. You are overlooked, so heaven could be your only witness. They stare because they feel what they denied. What they feared you'd become, you've become. Your glow is God's revenge. You don't chase attention, but divinity draws eyes. You healed where they hoped you'd break. You're not shining. You're revealing. You were buried in silence. Now you bloom in awe. Your glow makes their gossip useless. They recognize your name now. Heaven already did. You never needed an audience. But now you have one. They watch what they once walked away from. You glowed without applause. Now applause feels small. You are not becoming. You are being unveiled. The same eyes that doubted now desire. You rose while they were laughing. They didn't see you, but God hid you. Their curiosity is holy punishment. You outgrew their blindness. You are proof that private pain births public wonder. They left too early. Now they scroll too late. Your silence was sacred. Your presence is now prophecy. They followed the noise. Now they bow to your calm. They watch because they lost access. You were never invisible, just sacredly unseen. Their shame stares where their love should have lived. You became what they weren't brave enough to stay for. You shine with secrets they'll never earn. Their regret isn't loud, but their eyes confess everything. You were hidden in the dark. Now you are the light. They see what they didn't sow, and it stings. You walked alone until heaven sent the eyes. They didn't believe you'd rise. That's why they stare. They gaze not in love, but in holy loss. You're not a person anymore. You're a sign. They scroll in silence, but heaven records every stare. You no longer need to explain. You just appear. Their eyes ache with unspoken repentance. You didn't glow to prove them wrong, but you did. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more. You were a shadow in their world. Now you eclipse it. They stare to find answers they once ignored. You are no longer questioned. You are watched. Their curiosity is your confirmation. You didn't change. You just stopped shrinking. You are everything they couldn't imagine becoming. They turned away. Now they turn on notifications. You were the secret they kept. Now you are the story. They ignored the root. Now they envy the bloom. Your glow is what guilt looks like in them. They still won't say your name, but they see it everywhere. The glare in their eyes is the fire they refused. You showed up when they thought they'd buried you. You're no longer seen. You're felt. Their eyes hunger for what their hands once dropped. You are watched by those who never valued their chance. They remember your tears. Now they thirst for your attention. You shine like someone who healed where no one clapped. You're not the memory, they are. You don't seek revenge. You became the reward. Their silence was loud, but your presence shouts louder. You rose without witnesses. Now they line up for a glimpse. They stare in envy, but you stand in purpose. You are divine evidence. Their regret follows your every post. The applause was never needed. Your becoming was loud enough. They scroll, hoping you'll slip. Instead, they slip into awe. You became everything their pride couldn't hold. You are now the echo in their empty rooms. They can't unsee your arrival. You are watched not for who you are, but for what you survived. They follow in silence, but heaven celebrates in song. You are now the prophecy their ego refused. You hold the gaze of those who called you lost. Your rise is the sermon they refused to hear. They watched your fall. Now they fear your return. You are proof that chosen silence becomes divine spectacle. They feast on your glow like beggars of grace. You didn't need a platform. Your pain made you sacred. They now see what you always carried. The stare isn't admiration, it's awareness. You no longer fit in their eyes. They see you shining with the light they never honored. Your peace speaks louder than their praise ever could. They see God's fingerprints all over you. Your name rings in ears that once blocked it. You turned wounds into wisdom, and now they stare, starving. You became what their rejection couldn't stop. Your presence stings like a promise fulfilled. You are what they watch and weep for. You don't need to post much. Your spirit speaks loud. The spotlight didn't find you. Grace did. Their eyes are glued to what they lost. They stare because they recognize their mistake too late. You healed. Now they hunger. Their obsession is how God gets your justice. Your silence built a kingdom. Now they knock with envy. You hold what their ego couldn't cradle. You don't shine to be seen. You shine because you're free. You are not a comeback. You are a revelation. Their attention can't reach where favor placed you. They will never say it, but they finally see you. You are followed by those who once unfollowed your heart. You were never invisible, just irreplaceable. Your light exposes every lie they told. The ones who left now look for your glow in others. You became the proof they never thought would rise. Their eyes are filled with a hunger no applause can fix. You were the story they skipped. Now you are the headline. Their vision caught up too late. You are sacred sight. They prayed to forget you. Now they pray to be seen by you. You no longer orbit their world. You are your own sun. The ones who doubted now imitate. You are being studied by those who once scorned you. Their memory of you is louder than their pride. You are no longer waiting. You're watched. Their regret is dressed in likes and silence. You are a mirror, and they don't like what they see. You became what their arrogance could not destroy. Your presence now breaks them. They stare like they're reading scripture they used to mock. You glow because you were held by heaven. Your journey embarrassed their judgment. You are the lesson they were too loud to learn. You walked out in ashes. They now see only light. They talk less now, because you became too holy to mention. The eyes on you now were never meant to guide you. Your glow is the echo of a soul they ignored. They want your peace, but not your path. You don't perform. You reveal. They see the blessing, but forget your breaking. You are what they scroll for and can't replace. The same ones who left now wait for your next move. Their silence doesn't bother you. God never stopped speaking. You were the secret they were never ready to love. They stare with questions your soul no longer answers. Their punishment is seeing you in every miracle they missed. You're not viral. You're divine. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more.